Okay, I'm just gonna say what came to mind. I think New England's better than Old England.
Oh, that's a one-liner. Say it in the camera.
I was gonna say, you have now gone viral. Thank you so much. This is gonna be exactly what we needed.
And that's all we needed today, folks.
From Maine's cold coast to Connecticut pride, Vermont's green hills take it all in stride. Massachusetts traffic we grip and we grind with a Dunkin' iced coffee and no peace of mind. So New England stands up proud. Chowder thick, we shout it loud. From Fenway Chance to Rhode Island tide, New Hampshire's cry, live free or die. So New England with Ian Brownhill.
Good friggin' morning from New England, folks. Welcome back to episode 85 of the So New England podcast. We have a very special episode for you today.
We do.
As they say, we have crossed the pond to get these two on the podcast. We have gone out of our way, and now I've gotten my one dad joke out of the way. You guys know who I am?
Always stealing my thunder. This is
Oh, did
when
I
you
take
gotta
that from your intro?
stop.
I'm sorry. Little chat GPT over here, you know?
Wow.
You guys know me. I'm Ian. I've got my co-host right next to me, RJ, and my bestie behind the lens, Vinny Chen's keeping everything alive with the So New England podcast. RJ, please tell us who our guest is today.
Well, if you can believe it, folks, we have yet another first. Approaching nearly 90 episodes, and we bring to you something new. This couple joins us from across the pond to learn and discover all there is to this beautiful region, and maybe they'll teach us a thing or two. Hailing from London, England, they come to learn all there is to know about the US of A, and what better area to start than our beloved New England, making it their own, documenting their journey through life, trying all sorts of new cuisine, amazing adventures, and so much more. Please welcome Juliette and Ollie, aka the Brits in Boston.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for your time and coming down today.
Honestly, that was an awesome
That was
intro.
incredible.
That's right.
There you go. That's your new hype video.
I think we need to cancel your intros and just do mine.
Yeah, I think honestly it's probably better because I'm just like kind of letting it fly off the waist there, and it's not very good. And I will say, in the most like non-New England fashion, you guys took the Amtrak down to get to Little Rhodey. You guys are used to using like a train system. You wouldn't catch any of us dead getting on a train to go anywhere.
It was so easy.
I don't even know what that is.
You learn something new every day.
Hold on, you're saying it was easy, but the panic and anxiety when it was delayed 5 minutes.
I did
my
crash out.
goodness.
Oh yeah. Oh well, that's New England.
Yeah.
We never on time is 15 minutes late. That's kind of how we roll around here because of the traffic.
Love that.
Well, thank you both very much for your time. We're very excited to have you guys on. You guys have been creating so much buzz online in the New England region, and I think so many people are incredibly excited about what you guys have to offer. So I've already talked too much. Please tell me the story. What brought you guys to New England? Why New England? Where you grew up? We want to hear all the perspectives.
Oh, yeah.
You want to take it away?
No, you should talk about why we're here.
Okay, so first things first question, why we're here. So I'm in finance. I've worked for a bank in London that are headquartered here. I'm not going to name any names, but you guys will work it out. Anyway, short story is that they offered me a promotion, move over here, and I was like, yeah, there's a no-brainer there. The longer story is I've been a lifelong Celtics fan. So when this opportunity came up, I was like, no way. I was like, there is absolutely no way that this has happened.
I'm just upset about how you're telling that story because it's so much better than what you just said.
I have a tendency to just like
He doesn't like I romanticize everything. I can like really like tell a story. He just says, "Yeah, I was always a Celtics fan."
Romanticize it. Let's hear this.
No, like his mum used to work in Boston, like come here for work sometimes, and he was a kid, and the one thing he would always ask is, "Bring me back a Celtics jersey." He had like smart jersey, like
I had Paul Pierce one, like
he had all these jerseys,
yeah.
and like he never thought we would ever move to Boston. And then like I feel like it foreshadowed us moving to Boston. I do, and you're not going to tell it that way. But we did.
You manifested this.
Yeah.
I'm just like, yeah, I got a good opportunity.
And then when I met him, I would like sleep in the jerseys and then now we live here, and it's the most insane thing.
And now I get to scream at the TV every night.
Yeah. It sounds like you're already becoming a New Englander. I love that.
It's a curse, right?
Yeah.
So you guys are from London, England.
Yeah.
Okay. Explain this to me. hypothetically, maybe let's say I don't understand, but can you explain the difference between England and Britain and the UK and like kind of how that all works? Because, you know, around here, we're just like, yeah, USA. And everyone kind of gets it. But at the same time, when you say Rhode Island, people say Long Island and the whole nine. But let's just focus on your story for now.
I think in the US, a lot of people say, oh, you're from Britain.
Right.
Nobody in the UK says like, oh, I'm from Britain. Like, I would never meet someone and say I'm from Britain, would you?
I would say I'm British, though.
British. But you wouldn't say like, I'm from Britain.
So Britain is England, Wales and Scotland. So that one island on the right-hand side. Then you have the United Kingdom is the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland.
Gotcha.
And then you have mainland Republic of Ireland, which are separate and they're part of Europe.
They're very... They want to be separate.
Yes, very separate.
Yeah.
I told you, I'm the Irishman in this room. So I'm one of those guys that goes to Ireland, which I've been a few times, and I'm like, my uncle and my grandfather are from Donegal, and they're like, oh, really? Cool. Thank you. You're American.
I will say, public service announcement, that is one of the most annoying things that Americans do.
Of course it is. We're already off on the hot takes. I love it. I'm sure there's a long list of annoying things we do. Now, did you grow up in London, England, or did you grow up in different parts?
I was born in East London, and then we moved to Essex, which is a suburb of London. So it takes about 30 minutes on an underground train to get into the city. And then you're basically the same. We were born in the same hospital 2 years apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. She romanticizes this. I love it.
He would never have told you that part. That's a bit that he would leave out.
Yeah, I know, but David Beckham was also born in that hospital, and I don't know him. So.
We would.
It's amazing. Now, are you guys big? How about you? Sorry, where did you grow? Did you grow up in the London, England area as well?
Yes.
Or?
So exactly the same story. East London, kind of just gradually like moved out, as probably most people have done in the last kind of 20 years. But yeah, so we lived in Essex and lived 10 minutes away from each other.
Yeah, but I didn't meet him till I was 18. But we'd always lived like literally 10 minutes from each other.
Yeah.
This is a match made in heaven. I love
know, right?
this. And you guys are great together.
Thank
This
you.
is so cute. I love this.
We try.
I'm going to start romanticizing this. This is awesome. Okay, anyways, so the one question that immediately I think people want to know off the rip, there's the Boston accent, and then to Americans, there's the English accent. Or would you call it British? Is it a British accent? Because I feel like in different parts of London and different areas of the UK as a whole, the accent kind of changes a little bit, right? It's like a lot of different ones. So
yeah,
let's go through that, because in Boston, it's basically illiteracy and we drop vowels that we shouldn't. So it's not really an accent. It's lack of education. I don't know if we would say it's an accent.
Yeah, I think the UK is really small, but I feel like we have more accents than you have here. Like there's so many accents.
Yeah, I mean, there's like an old saying, like you move this to the next street and there's a new accent.
Yeah,
That's so crazy.
and they sound completely different. Like I don't understand a Scottish person. I can't understand a Scottish person. But yeah, we here, I think it's more distinction of where you are. I feel like I know what's what now.
Like if someone speaks, you kind of know where they're from.
Yeah, unless you're like the Midwest, I can't tell, because I feel like that's just everyone kind of sounds the same. Like they sound like what they sound like on the Weather Channel.
Right.
Me.
Right.
Like very like standard American accent. And then you've got like New York and Boston. We can tell the difference between that. Yeah. Ollie's very good at accents if you want him to do an accent.
We will be getting into it.
He's very, very good.
Don't you worry. That is on my table for questions that we're going to ask.
And then the Southern, you've got all the different ones. Then Louisiana is like another country.
Oh, yeah.
And then West Coast is like literally.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
If I close my eyes, are we in Malibu right now? Valley Girl.
Yeah.
You'll be on the new, instead of, what is it, like Selling Sunset, we'll do Selling Boston. You'll be the first one
I'll
on
be
there.
that would be
Boston.
awesome. Yeah.
So when you guys grew up in London, what do you think of London as a whole to you, like as a city? And I only asked that because I was actually on a trip to Ireland. It was raining too much. And I was like, I've never been to London. Let's go. Yeah. I am kind of like an anti-New York City guy. I think it smells, it's too messy and dirty. Too many people. I'm like, ugh. But when I went to London, I was like, the vibe is the size of New York, but kind of the architecture and cleanliness that Boston has. I was a big fan of London. I liked it a lot. I mean, I obviously was like a tourist and I went to all the tourist traps and all that jazz. But do you guys feel the same, like coming from London to Boston? What's your vibe like there?
I always say this to you. I always say London is the midpoint between Boston and New York. I think that's the perfect example of what you gave. It's a great city. I've always said for years it's one of the best in the world. It's incredibly diverse, like The food is amazing. Don't listen to what you see online. Like British
Contrary
food
to
does.
popular belief.
Yeah, British food does not suck. It's great.
Literally.
We have so many options. It's, you know, like you say, it's like New York, but it's just a little bit more chilled.
Yeah.
You know,
New York is on some other level. Have
Like-
you guys have gotten down to New York, right? Since you've been here?
This is a funny story, and you're going to let me tell it. I have been to New York. I've only been to like the Times Square side. So my view of it has been, I don't like it.
Yeah.
But I know that there's so much more to it, and I'd love to go again. And the food, I haven't really touched the sides on. This one came to Boston, never been here before, loves it. And if I say, let's go on a trip to New York City, he goes, why? I like Boston. And I'm like,
Yes, we love that.
I'm like, New York's a different thing. You're going to love it. Like, he's such a foodie. I'm like, I promise you, you're going to love it. And he's like, I don't want to go.
What for? You haven't told me what for.
It's so bad.
You just keep saying, let's go.
Spoken like a true New Englander.
I will say, like,
you
New
deserve it.
York has so much.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I wouldn't say that I'm like easily overwhelmed, but I'm also like, I don't necessarily have to have a certain type of dinner. I'm just like, you want Italian? It's like, okay, there's 15 different Italian and Chinese restaurants and different like cuisines around. It's like, there's so much to choose from. Like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, I don't know if
just
I
like-
could live that life. It's
too
I don't
much.
know, yeah.
I find Boston too much. Like, that's not, because we're not from, like, we don't live in London.
Right.
So we lived in the suburbs. So we had like one Indian restaurant, one Chinese restaurant, one, like, that was our favorites. And I'm in Boston, I get very over, and even that's not
Sometimes
big.
it's a lot.
Like, I'm like, there's so many good options.
How do you even choose?
We can't.
Yeah.
I mean,
She gets hungry, turns into the dragon, and then it's like, okay, just pick whatever's the fastest delivery. Like,
I go like, I'm past the point of no return, Ollie, you're going to have to choose because I am going to kill someone in a minute.
and I always get it wrong, naturally.
Of course. You know what I did? I learned this on TikTok, and it's like when your wife is hungry and getting on borderline the hangry, as we like to say as a term, and you're like, oh, where do you want to go? It's like, oh, did you want to go to that place that you were talking about? And then they name it, and you're like, yes, that one. And you kind of set them up to pick.
Place. What was that one place?
Exactly. You set them up to kind of say the place that they want to go that they're
Honestly.
not aware of.
When I'm hungry, I'm like, I don't like anything. So something that I've eaten like 2 days ago, I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't like fajitas. He's like, you literally had them 2 days
She's like,
ago.
I hate Mexican food. And I'm like, bro, we had tacos earlier. No, we can't.
do that.
We can't.
I love it. All right. So tell me about the transition from London to Boston. Was there I don't know where you guys are living in Boston currently. What sub like area within Boston?
We're moving out of it because we've our end of the lease is June, but Seaport.
Oh, you've been in the Seaport. Okay.
Yeah.
And was there a reason why you chose the Seaport, or was it just like that's where you had like an available apartment?
No, there was a reason. So when you come from any other country, you don't have a credit rating. So we would have loved to live like maybe Back Bay or like a neighborhood that had, not being horrible to Seaport, but like something more than just like a clinical culture. Like it's more,
Right.
we wanted a Boston experience, and I don't think Seaport gives you that.
Very fair.
I don't know if that's...
I always
No,
say,
that's a hot take, and we love it. Give us the tea.
I always say Seaport's like living in a mall. Like,
Right. You have it's like
you have
at
everything,
once.
but there's
Yes.
not really any like flavor to it. It's
Right.
just there.
And that's what
Yeah.
makes New England, and I think you guys will learn this more as you stay. Like that's what makes New England so like special is the fact that although we have everything, we also have really tried hard to keep like the original culture with like the colonial homes, the designs, the mom and pop corner stores and shops and restaurants. So
Yeah.
But what was your experience like when you first came? Like, was it a culture shock? What was some of the hardest things that you had to adjust to?
I think no, there was culture shocks when we first came. Like when we first landed, we'd never come here before, and we had 7 suitcases in our whole life in our bags, and we just were like, we're gonna have to make this work. I hope we like it. Literally on the plane, I'm like, I hope we like it. Then we land, we put all our bags away. We had a temporary accommodation in Fenway, so that's where we first stayed. So that's quite cool because we got to walk the Green Monster straight away and see Fenway. And we on our first day we walked the whole city, like every single neighborhood. I walked home right, because you can, because Boston's that cool. So you walk the whole thing, and then I remember when we got to Beacon Hill and I was walking those streets, I like started crying. I was like, we've made the right decision. Like this is stunning. I love it so much. And I'm like I said, we didn't live in the city before, so I was really scared to move to a city because I'm not a city person. But I feel like Boston's perfect because it's a sleepy city.
Yeah,
and
it's
just-
not like a crazy all nights, all
No.
hours of the nights type of vibe. Like you can walk around. It's like
Yeah.
kind of has like a very lived in feel, not like
and it's
no
very
idea-
quiet.
Yeah.
Like compared to London, the streets are quiet. When our first day, we were like, where is everyone?
I mean, if you were to walk around London like pretty much anywhere in the city.
It's
between
crazy.
between the hours of 9 and 5, you can barely walk like on the sidewalk. It's just chaos.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
And
New York.
I'm sure New York is the same way.
Same.
We got here on that Monday. We started walking. We're walking like around the financial district, and I'm like,
Where is it?
where's everyone? It's like lunchtime. We're,
On a
like,
working day.
Yeah. I'm like, what are you all doing?
There's no one here. It's a ghost town, and we're like, we love it. We love it.
Was
So,
there
yeah.
anything that, like, growing up over there, when you heard about it, you were like, oh, if I ever get a chance to go over there,
I'm going to try
curious,
this or
like,
do that.
like borderline stereotypical, because let's be real, stereotypes, whatever. Like that when you were over there, you were like, oh, that's stereotypical. I can't, that kind of sucks. And then you came over here and you were like, that's really not that bad. Or like that you saw was true.
About the so in the UK stereotypes
yeah.
about the US.
Yeah.
Oh, there's loads.
Yeah.
And majority is not true.
See?
Like
Told ya.
100%. No, yeah. But I feel very strongly about that. That's because there's a lot of, I said this actually last night to people that we met. I said, like, in the UK, well, no, I'll start. In the US, you are also respectful to British culture. Well, majority of you are. I mean, some of us take the piss out of water and like, they
What is that one thing that you guys wrap like your food in? It's like very shiny, and you like wrap your food.
tin foil.
Oh, don't do that to me.
Tin foil.
Aluminum.
Aluminum foil. So yeah, like I was saying, like sorry, I've lost my train of thought. Yeah, like majority of people like love your accent. They'll say, you know, we love the royal family, or oh, we'd love to go to England, or my family's from England. You love that one. Or we've got family in England, and it's just not the same way the other way around. And I find that really sad. Like if you say about Americans in the UK, majority of the time, it's not met with the same thing. It's either something they've seen on the media that they don't like, or the stereotypes that, you know, we don't need to go on to. And it's not true. And I'd never believed it because of my family. I know that Americans that love England call it Anglophiles. Is that right?
Yeah, that's like a kind of like an older terminology. I feel like that was like the
Okay.
generation before my mom.
Okay.
So like my mom never referred to it that way, but like I've heard her reference it. And honestly, it's one of those things where I was kind of like, I'm gonna pretend like I know what you're referring to, what you're saying, Mom, but I don't really know. I'm just happy to be sitting around the adults because I'm young. So,
But I am an older lady, like inside, so that makes sense that I know that term.
which is probably why you love New England, because it
love
has
it.
an old soul.
Yeah, I love
it has
it.
a very old soul. So that's great.
So like that, but I don't know what the opposite of that is for British people that love America, but my family are like that. So I've always I had a house in Florida like all my whole life growing up. My dad still has a house there. He loves the US. Like when we got like the green light to move here, our families were both like, that's the most amazing opportunity. Like you're gonna love it. So I've always grown up with positivity about
good.
Yeah, but not everyone is the same.
Yeah.
This area, like they don't like immediately think like I have to travel, I have to get out.
Yeah.
We're always like, once you become comfortable here, you're like, why move? Because it's 2 hours to the mountains or 2 hours to the city, and you're just like, I kind of have everything I need. So
I mean, that's one of the stereotypes back home. It's like, oh, Americans, they don't travel well. They don't leave their country, blah, blah, blah. It's like, you have everything here.
Yeah. I get why.
There's no reason
And
to.
also, just because of the sake of, I don't know how much you guys have flown around in the U.S. yet, travel-wise, but you know that for us to go 3 states over, it's like $400.
Oh, it's so
Whereas in like, you know, when I was in Ireland and I went to London, it was $40 on Ryanair.
Yeah.
Did it feel like $40 in the air? Absolutely. No offense. I
You
love
don't know if
Ryanair.
you're gonna make it, do you?
we were like having turbulence, and I was like, "Is it supposed to sound creaky on the wings? It sounds like a door that doesn't have the screw all the way in." But we made
They
it.
charge
so-
you for every breath as
They
well.
do.
It's like if you breathe 3 times, we're going to charge you 20 pounds for that.
I do love their, like, I don't know if you've ever seen their social media though, but they're like, they've taken the stance of just like making fun of people who make fun of them, and I think that that's a great social media strategy.
Very clever.
Very Wendy's, right?
I love
Very
Wendy's.
I love the Wendy's one. So
Yes.
good. What would you guys say that you miss about England and London and the entire, like, you know, where you're from, that is missing from like the culture? Is it like food? Is it nightlife? Is there anything that you're kind of missing that you feel like you haven't been able to enjoy? For example, I love like afternoon high tea.
Okay.
When I got put onto that, those scones and those little snacks with tea, I'm like, every day I can just take like a little chill and have some tea. This is what life is about. You know, like
That
this is
is-
what it should be happening. And I do have that, but it's like Dunkin', coffee and like a donut in my car, and I'm like sad, like I shouldn't be eating this, but you know, that's about it.
I'm with you there. I prefer that. I'm much more of an iced dunks and a donut kind of guy. But Juliette will probably say like snacks in the UK are
Snacks are incredible. And I think on the afternoon tea thing, I think that's great because it's like, that is something that's instilled in us. Like it's from, how do you call it? Like a tradition, like ancient tradition. And I think that's something that Americans don't really do is like at 4 o'clock or 4 o'clock, I always fancy a tea and a biscuit.
Right.
A biscuit is like a cookie for you guys. And that's just like a thing that we do. But in the US, it's much more like, do you want something savoury? Like, we'll bring a charcuterie board out for you. Like, let's do a spread on. Like, and it's just totally different. Whereas I normally fancy something sweet in the afternoon. So,
yeah, I think there's a lot of food that we miss right from home.
Not that I miss. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm fine. Indian food.
What?
Indian food?
Yeah, Indian food is like hard to come by here, but it's something that it's like instilled in everyone in the UK. Like our number one dish in the UK is tikka masala.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
Never had it. I'm not like a spice guy because tikka masala, is that spicy?
No.
Okay, it probably would be for me
would
if I'm
be.
being honest. If there's like, I'm one of those guys. If you put too much pepper, I'm like, what's that? So, but
You know, season.
that's the Irish in me. You know what I mean? Bangers and mash. Sorry, I don't know why I did that.
That's brilliant. I love that you know that though. That's
Yeah. I'm like, again, I told you, I'm like one of those like nerds. So like when you guys were like, oh, you know, like Northern Ireland's part of it, I was like, oh, well, they actually prefer north of Ireland, but you know, whatever. And here I am just like an American with no ties. But is there anything else like as far as, I don't know, what's the nightlife like in comparison? Have you really gone out and done any of those things? Obviously you don't have Celtic basketball, so that's a...
Yeah, I mean, I can talk about sports a little bit. So the Premier League is huge in the UK, like soccer or football as we call it, is our number one sport, and it's number one by so far.
Right.
So
it's a worldly sport.
Yeah, it's the biggest sport in the world, right? So the Premier League, everybody has a team, but like even below that, you have probably, I think you have 4 professional leagues, and then you have all these divisions below, and you'll meet a guy on the street and you say, hey, what's your team? And he'll say Bromley FC, and they're like the 7th division. And they are diehard about that.
Yes.
And that's, I think, the biggest difference here, because it's, you know, you have relegation and promotion, and people support their local team and they really mean it. Like, whereas you guys are like an hour outside of Boston,
right?
But your Celtics fans, your Red Sox fans, or whatever, like in the UK, you would support your local team.
Yeah.
So I think that's one thing I probably miss, because it's a bit more like tribal in that sense. You would probably, if you know, in the UK, you would probably hate the Red Sox. You'd be like, they're the big brothers from like an hour up the road. So
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think of that.
Yeah, I feel like the sports scene around here has been trying to be better about like the local clubs. Here in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, we have a brand new football club, the Rhode Island FC. So that's like our local club, and they built a whole stadium and everything, and it does pretty well. It like packs out, and they're part of the, I don't know what the actual league is called, but I don't know, the soccer league, Major League Soccer, I think MLS, right? But you know, like it doesn't hit the same way. You know what I mean? I feel like I hate to reference Ted Lasso, but like that local community football feel where you're like, these guys aren't even like, not even someone you would see on TV, but you go and it's like packed out.
Yeah.
New Englanders aren't diehard like that. You know, it's like Celtics, Sox, Bruins, and you know, Pats and stuff like that.
But you're diehard for those.
Oh,
yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
to a fault, to the point where we're just like, you know, harassing players and their families because they missed a kick, and it's like, okay, wait a minute, these are just normal people who are playing sports. Let's relax.
It's bad
No,
sometimes.
but that's been nice because I feel like coming from the UK where you're a diehard West Ham United fan, and like the fans are brutal. Like they will attack each other. Like if you've got a rivalry, like football game, like we're not allowed alcoholic drinks in the stands because we cannot be trusted.
That's smart. We literally had a gentleman, and you know, hopefully no one from the Patriots, and as I do work with Juliette and the Patriots, hopefully they're not listening, but we did have a guy that actually sadly passed away in the stands because he got in a fight at a Patriots game with a fellow Patriot fan. That's the worst part. And that's the very Boston vibe right there, which is like really sad, but it's just like, that's how intense people will get.
Yeah.
I think it was like a freak accident, the way he fell and like his age and like all that kind of stuff. But that's why the $36 beer should be banned.
Yeah.
I mean, just for the price.
Just for the price alone.
What would you say was the hardest thing to learn growing up?
Probably learning how to like use, save, or spend money.
You legit worked in banking, did you not?
You're welcome.
Are you still with Dime Bank, or are you too Hollywood now?
Okay, rude, but yes, I am.
Imagine your followers finding out you're with a Connecticut-based bank.
Okay, first of all, they have a branch in Wesley, Rhode Island, which is where we grew up. So really that's brownie points because I'm sticking to my roots. Second, I think everyone would appreciate that I'm with a bank that knows and understands their community. Their tagline is legit, community banking lives here.
Hey, I'm not asking you to sell me on it. I've been banking with them for years, and they know me on a first-name basis. I'm just saying, I'm surprised is all. I can see the headlines now. Mr. Anti-Connecticut actually banks with local community bank?
Okay, you know what? Follow along with me here. They're FDIC insured, equal housing lenders, wicked friendly. They take care of all my personal needs, have expansive products to help all my businesses, offer lending across the board, merchant services. What more could I possibly want or need? And you know that I secretly like Connecticut, so...
Oh, I hope you heard that, folks. Dime Bank is the reason Ian loves Connecticut.
Okay, you're ridiculous. Funny story, though. You know how they have like the mobile app with like banking, Lifesaver, you can do all the deposits. Have you tried to teach your mom how to do the mobile deposit
No.
yet? I was teaching my mom how to do it, and she takes a selfie instead of the check. Visit dimebank.com to learn more.
The actual culture has been so nice because it's just as passionate.
Yeah.
But the only other thing I will say is like in the UK, and I hope that no one takes offense to this if anyone from the UK is listening, but I feel like it's definitely more football or soccer, like you would call it, it's more male orientated. It's like men go to the pub as a group and they watch it together. Like there's very rarely like females get involved with that. You can be a fan of a club, like I'm a fan of a club, but it's, I don't know, here, like the women know more than the men sometimes. I'm like, Jesus, like you actually know what you're talking about. So like I've felt very comfortable really getting into it, and like people are accepting of that. They don't like, oh yeah, you don't really know the rules. Like in the UK, like if I try and get into soccer, it's like, oh, we call them like a geezer bird. It's like a bird trying to become
So sorry, one more time.
A geezer bird.
Geezer bird. Okay, well, that's that's going to be my
It's
new
true.
tick. I'm going to start calling everyone a geezer bird, so thank you for that.
Is that true? Or what? Like if you go to the game and you think that you know everything about soccer, you're a geezer bird.
I love that.
Probably outdrink you, old man. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas here it's like women, like we dress up, we go to the game, we have our outfits.
Oh my
like,
God,
it's
yeah.
so fun.
And they have like their, the boy aquarium if you're going to watch the hockey for the ladies, or what is they just came up with one for the basketball. I can't think of the name, but there's a new nickname for all the ladies that go to the games, and they're just like, the boy aquarium is like, because there's glass, like an aquarium, like, and then it's all the boys fighting, and they're like, I see the funny videos, like I'm at the boy aquarium, and then she's like recording a fight. It's like, when are they going to kiss? This is great. But I do think like New England is an incredibly progressive area too, just in the U.S. in general. I mean, the new Nesson Sports Network, New England Sports Network around here. I mean, half of the people who are reporters are all women who are crushing it, and they're all doing amazing. And we have the Pro Women's Hockey League, Boston Fleet. Shout out tonight, actually. Today's the 2nd, so they have a playoff game too for the Pro Women's Hockey League. So we're crushing it around here.
Yeah.
We're crushing it in that sense.
We do a lot of big things in New England, just saying. Lots of big stuff.
Title town.
How did you?
That's it.
You get it, Ollie. You get it.
Nailed it.
What has been your perception from like how welcoming the Boston culture has been? Because perspective from the outside, the U.S. thinks that we're just like these mean, grumpy people. And it's like, the phrase is we're kind, but not nice.
Yeah.
So what has your perception been like? Has people been that to you?
I think, I don't know, again, I can't speak because of the accents. I think people are intrigued by that. So I think that's probably made it a little bit easier. But it takes a little while for them to like accept you, and once they know that you're not coming at them from a place, like we spoke about this other day, like when I first started posting content, there would be a lot of defensive people in there. If I said anything about maybe a food that I didn't like, it was like, straight in there. Yeah, don't you dare talk about us like that. Or like if I didn't like a steamer, they like the steamers and all that, and I was like, oh, I don't really like that, and they're like, no, you can't. But then once they realise that we come in peace, they are so loyal and so like supportive, and we get stopped every single day in the street multiple times a day, and that still it shocks me still to this day. But people, like, I've had people crying. Like,
oh my God,
I got Bostonians to cry. I was like, that is like,
that's rare. The only time that happened is when Tom Brady went to the Buccaneers. So that's like, it's been a while. He still hasn't let it out.
No, I love it. I'm like, you made me fall in love with my city again, and it's like so heartwarming and sweet. And so yeah, like, I cannot fault them at all. But I guess we do have some followers like from outside of New England too, and I think that's great because they've learned things about New England. Like, I'll say things and they're like, you know, maybe that they come across like moody or tough because actually like they have to be like, it's actually hard to live here. The climate, like it's not an easy place to live in. Like you've got to love it to want to live it.
You got to be committed.
You've got to be, you've got to be in it. Otherwise you go to Florida, right?
Exactly.
So you're
And that's what happened. If you want to see the lazy version of New England, you go down to Florida. You see the people who quit.
Yeah, exactly. So they stick it out, and they're good people. They're loyal people, but they will tell you if you F up, basically.
Oh yeah.
It was that
It's like
refreshing or like
respectfully.
shocking? Yeah. Was that like refreshing for you guys to have people be like that truthful? Was London like the same way where, you know, like if you're doing something wrong, people like tell you? Was that kind of like a shock? Like, oh, that was kind of rude, but
it was kind of familiar, but they're way more outspoken with it here, like more forthcoming. We're a little bit more polite.
We are
polite's
we're
not our thing.
polite until
Passive
we're not.
aggressive.
Yeah,
I
we're
was passive
super
aggressive.
passive. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're like
Yep.
quietly disappointed in you. Like someone's blocking the door. It's just a
A tut.
yeah. It'll never like out here, but get the fuck out the way.
Yeah. What are you doing, man? Like they're much more like, which is quite funny. Like we
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it.
But yeah, back
Yeah.
home it's like, oh, move.
Yeah.
And you if you said sorry, did you say something? No.
Yeah. No.
oh yeah, that would never happen here. It's
Yeah.
like they would double down.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, pal, get the fuck out of the way.
Yeah,
What'd you
yeah.
say? Get the fuck out of the doorway. I'm trying to get in. And it's like not mean. You know what I
No,
mean?
it's
They're
not.
just like, hey, like common sense says get out of the doorway.
No, if someone's standing in front of you in England, you're like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like you just be like quietly in their ear, like, what are you doing? Don't you?
Yeah.
And then if they don't respond, you're like, okay, leave it.
And I think what's so great, and we talked about this before we started recording here, but is that you guys have such a new, refreshing perspective on the city, and it helps people who live here who feel like they need to like just kind of air out the laundry and remember why it's so beautiful to be here. But for the people who are, you know, coming to visit, you guys are giving the romanticized version, which is what people want to experience versus like, you know, the grumpy version. If people came to my page, they would never visit New England. They're just like, holy shit, this
It's
sounds terrible.
terrifying.
This guy only screams. He only is like upset, even though that's actually not who I am. It's like, that was kind of like the bit because I appeal more to the actual New England. They're like, yeah, exactly what he said with the weather. So, but you know, it's really good that you guys are giving that refreshing perspective.
Yeah.
Truthfully. Now, how about like the traffic, the weather? Was that like, cause I know like, you know, England weather is kind of known to be kind of gloomy and rainy and stuff. Have you enjoyed having so much sunshine, even though it's more, not that much, but you know, and the snow? Like, what was this all like for you guys with these seasons?
I feel much happier in this climate than in England because darkness, it gets dark really early for a very long time in England, and when you wake up in the morning it's pitch black outside. And I know we have those stages in New England too, but during the day it's majority is bright sunshine and you might be freezing to the bone. Like I've never felt cold like it. I cannot explain to you. Like I literally I think it was, what is it in Fahrenheit, like -20
With the wind chill, especially with the city.
yeah. And my family like genuinely thought we were gonna die. They were like messaging me like, are you okay? And we're like,
I mean, yeah, like when we went skiing in Maine, we went up to Rangeley.
Oh, nice. Awesome.
Right.
Beautiful area.
It's like, yeah, it's awesome over there, but
the
it's
cold is like
the
nothing
cold.
you've
Nothing
ever
you've ever felt,
experienced.
yeah.
And then we were stupid enough to drive back in the blizzard. So because we don't get a lot of snow in England and we'd never been here in a blizzard, so these were our first blizzards, were the ones that just happened.
this was probably the
this
worst
winter.
year to ever get acclimated to New England. We had a
Yeah.
really rough winter.
It was bad.
This is like
bad.
pretty rare for us for the last like 10 years. It hasn't been that bad.
These blizzards were like crazy, and we were up in Maine, and we thought,
10 times worse.
like it's going to snow, a bit of snow, like we'll drive back. We drove back in the full blizzard. We were going to die. We could not see anything.
like I couldn't see past the windshield.
We
Genuinely.
could not see
Like,
a thing. It was actually very dangerous. And I
lanes
called my
did not
dad in the
exist.
car. I was like, I might die today. He's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I didn't know it was going to be so bad. The visibility was so bad.
Yeah, I was like, don't worry, I got a heated steering wheel. It's gonna be fine.
Ollie loves it.
So it's been a full year that you have been here now.
We've actually been here 2.5.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
But I've only been like on social media for a year.
Great.
Yeah.
Great segue. Let's talk about the social media. Where did the interest to start doing the social media come about? Is it something you've always wanted to do? How have you been? No, it just kind of happened by mistake.
Yeah, like, I would never have done it in England. I feel like I don't even know what I would even say back there. But I think it was actually completely by accident. So I was on TikTok at first, and I just had my family and friends following, and they'd never visited yet. So I was like, oh, let me like film a cute reel of like Boston. Like we love it so much. Let's show them what it looks like. And the Bostonians just loved it. Like it got like 1 million views. The people were like, what's your story? Why are you here? Like, why would you want to come here? Like, we want to know more about you. And then you can tell the story about
Well,
what
no, I think we did a few more other like smaller reels, and then
Ollie came up with a genius
I
idea.
came up with the best idea ever.
Love it.
But I thought it was terrible. I was like, this is going to be shit.
So we're sitting at home and we're like, oh, we haven't had Chinese food since we've been here. So like we should do that. And I said, oh, why don't we just film it? Like we just sit down, eat some Chinese and just film it.
Do you know what I said? I was like, why would anyone want to watch us eat Chinese food? That's weird. Like, and he was like, no, it's so different in the US. Like their Chinese food is so different. I was like, okay. We filmed it and like, that's still probably my best performing videos.
5 million views.
Food.
Like
Awesome.
it was crazy.
And we are kind of known for having really unique, good takeout Chinese
Yeah.
takeout
awesome.
here in New England.
It is awesome.
Isn't it the best, dude?
It's way better.
and the
Yeah.
the worst part of it though is when you're eating it, when you feel full, you're like, I'm gonna die. I am so full.
Yeah.
And then an hour later, you're like, why do I feel like
Let's
I can
go again.
re-eat the whole thing?
Let's go again.
I don't know what
Yeah.
they put in that, but don't tell me because it's delicious.
And the General Tso's chicken that doesn't exist in England. That doesn't exist.
Really?
Yeah.
Probably doesn't exist in Chinese culture either. That's
No.
definitely
Yeah,
American
exactly.
thing.
American Chinese.
Yeah, let's take their stuff and make it spicy. Put this sauce on it.
It's so good.
I reckon half of the people in London that are having Chinese food are having French fries. So
Yeah. And curry sauce. Curry sauce.
and curry
Oh,
sauce.
really?
Yeah, there's no judgment here.
That's
hilarious.
Very weird.
So then from there, you've just kind of been riding the roller coaster. So what has that been like for you, kind of getting that that exposure, that fame, as we like to say in the social media world? And how have you continued to curate these things? Does it just feel like it's natural? Like we're actually doing this, let's just record it? Or have you found yourself trying to strategize about where you're going to visit now for videos and whatnot?
I think at first, like it was very much just like what we were doing because I didn't know what I was doing. And I think definitely at the beginning, like where some like hate comments were coming through, like Ollie was there so much at the beginning, like thanking you that I'm still here today, doing it, because I would have given up because I was like, I just can't deal. I don't know why they're being so nasty. Like, and he would just be like, they don't know you. Why do you care? Like, Ollie's very give a shit about them. And I'm like, no, but
Love
I've
that.
upset
Hell
someone.
yeah.
And then
I'm from
he's-
Boston, man. Come on.
Let's go. I love that.
I'm like, I've upset someone. I don't like it. I don't want to do this anymore. And he'd be like, no, you should still do it. And then my family would definitely, my mum went full blown Kris Jenner mode on me. I was like, you need to relax. I was like, Mum, I'm going to stop because it's the only way I know what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's the only way I know what you're doing. I need to watch it. And I was like, okay, Mum. So like, I carried it on for them. I've got little nieces and nephews. They love watching the videos. And I like that I'm a good role model to them because there's a lot of different content creators out there. And I've got 10-year-old nieces that watch my videos, and I'd rather they watch something like learning about cultures and eating different foods and just like fun content like that. And that's what they can draw some inspiration from rather than like TikTok dances in a belly, like with all sorts hanging out.
Yeah.
No disrespect. But they're 10, so
And what has been some of the more like enjoyable experiences for you that were new that like New England has presented to you? Like, for example, driving up to Maine and like the traveling. What has really like stood out to you where you're like, wow, like I'm really happy that this is now a part of my life, that the United States, because we're obviously always ragged on for saying, oh, the US has no culture. And I'm like, we are literally all the cultures in one. It's just that's why we don't have one, because there's so many identities everywhere.
100%.
But what has been the most enjoyable one for you guys that were like new parts of your life outside of Chinese food?
in New England.
It could be in New England, but anywhere. Like, again, I don't know how much you guys have traveled within the U.S. I know you mentioned Florida. You had a home there, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But just in general.
I think there's two. I think New England, like obviously coming to Massachusetts is its own beast, isn't it? And you've got the Cape. We haven't even been to the Berkshires yet, so there's so much more to explore.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot to see.
But I will say, like, Maine blew me away. There's nobody in the UK that knows anything about Maine. If I say, like, where do you think Maine is? They've got no clue. You can't fly direct to Maine. They will probably never see Maine in their whole entire life. Anyone in Europe, like, why would they? Unless they come to New England for a tour. And just, like, the fact that they don't know about that place genuinely, like, breaks my heart because, I mean, to be honest, more for us.
Yeah. Spoken like it's your New Englander.
Yeah.
I love it.
But at the same time, like, it is absolutely stunning and so different. Like, you've got the Acadia National Park that we went to, and then you've got the gorgeous, like, Hallmark movie coastal towns. And I love Maine so much.
Yeah,
I'm so happy to have found it.
Acadia was the best trip we've done.
That's
Like,
Ollie's
it
favourite
was
trip. I mean, that's
yeah.
Ollie's favourite
Oh
trip.
my God, it was
Yeah.
so good. And then, you get the people in the comments, wait till you go to the West Coast. No, I don't care. Like, I'm just saying this was awesome.
Yeah.
Let it be awesome.
He's never, like, again, with him being, like, true in England, I'm like, I can't wait to go and see California. He's like, don't give a shit. I'm like, Ollie. And I'm like, he's like, it's fine. We've got mountains here, like white mountains. I'm like,
This is so funny.
You were born in New England.
You were like meant to be in New
Oh my
England.
You were born in Mass General. That
Yes.
first story about the hospital.
it's all lies. This is all fake accent. And you can hear how good his accent is. His Bostonian accent is so good that it's like, you're lying to me.
Maybe later.
But then, like, it's definitely Maine, and then I do actually love the South for the cultures. I feel like the culture is so unique to the US. Like, I think people forget that, like, that culture, there's nowhere else on this planet. Like,
Right.
again, like New England culture, but also this Southern culture where you call everyone ma'am and sir, and the manners are so like instilled from a young age, and all the foods, like the foods.
Yeah, food down south is incredible.
It's something else, right? Because it's so
else.
unique.
Southern
Again, I
cuisine.
think it's like that cross of like the melting pot of people who all immigrated here on the early
Yeah.
years, and then the culture started to cross, and they were like, "Hey, I like the way you cook this. I cook it. Let's make it one," and it became like this really cool, unique thing.
Very fascinating culture.
I think the only other thing that's like that we've really gained out of social media is just like meeting people. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
you're great guys. Like, we've met you now. Like, you know, we've mentioned some other people
Yeah.
that we've met, and then like even you, like your DMs that you get, like people to be like, "Hey, come and stay at my place in." Like when we went to Charleston.
People are so giving.
Yeah.
Like we always say that we don't think that, not to be horrible about British people, but because we're so polite and we don't ever want to impose anyone, and we would never offer our home to anybody. Like, and not in a horrible way.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just not Americans share with you. Like, they get so excited. They're like, you love where I live. Like, let me share my world with you. Let me share my home with you. I want you to try my food. And I just think it's just such a beautiful thing.
Yeah. At first, like the British side of me was like,
We're not staying in someone's house.
I was like, this is creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, don't reply. And I'm like, what's wrong with you?
I mean, even when we went up to Rangeley, there was a guy that DM'd us. He has like a lake house. It's awesome. He's like, bring your friends, come up, you can stay in the house, like you can go skiing. I was like, great. Rocked up there, dude's at the house. I was like, okay, here we go.
He said, I don't like this. And I'm like,
And then he's like, oh, jump in my car, like we'll take a ride around, like Juliette, get the dogs inside. And I'm like, okay. So like I'm in the car with this dude and I'm like,
are you going to kill me?
Yeah.
oh, what the fuck is about to go down? Firstly, he's the best guy.
He's the
I
nicest
speak to him
guy.
every day now. Hung out
that's
with us
awesome.
all weekend,
Yeah,
skied with us. Like he gave us the house to stay in for free. Like
He
bought
wouldn't
our
let us
food.
pay a meal. I was
Really?
like, please let me buy you a meal. And you gave us the house, and please let us buy you a meal. And he was like, you are in my town and I'm going to pay for your food. And I was like, that's
It's
fine.
again, it's like the New Englanders. If I'm being honest, I feel like the only state you'll probably get more flack to that is probably Rhode Island, because Rhode Island has become, it's like, because it's so small, and as I explained to you, we have so many towns, everyone is like very nice, but it's also just like their town. So like, for example, we're in Providence right now, which is like our major city. As you can see, not much of a city, but really like the hub of Rhode Island is a place called Cranston. And that's like the home of, if you've seen the Real Housewives of Rhode Island, which is now trending all over Bravo TV, that's all like Cranston. So like you think that Rhode Island is like little Italy over here, but that's really not the case.
Okay.
If you go down to like, we have beautiful coastlines and beaches and everything, everyone's going to be just like that. But like the whole Rhode Island as a whole, everyone's very, very standoffish at first. But once we like you, it's like, but that's what makes the Northeast beautiful. Like Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine is people are far more friendly and willing to share. And like, that's why they go there and get out of like the cities.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's much more about the welcoming thing. Like they want to show it off to you.
Yeah.
They want you to live there, and they want to go take you around and brag about this and that and this food and that food. And it means more to them to do that than any dollar amount they could ever get. So.
And like, we learned so much about the culture of it. We thought we knew Maine culture. We didn't. Like he told us so much about small town American culture is something so special again and unique that we've never heard before. So we love that. And like some of the DMs as well that I get is like paragraphs of just people just pouring their heart out about how much they enjoy our content. And it's that's what makes it worth it to me. That's why I can carry on doing it, just because I think it does help people. Like they are enjoying it.
Well,
So-
People love to be heard and seen, and you guys are letting that happen in a very different light, you know, and that's awesome.
Plus the quality of it. Like you're putting out good content. You're not malicious. You're not mean. You're
genuine,
just genuinely going out and essentially, and we talk about it all the time. I feel like the people who do the best on any social media platform are the ones who are just themselves and they're just there with a camera.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the ones. No offense to you with your little skit guy.
I was gonna say, why don't you just point at me?
I don't
Jeez.
mean it like that.
Best
but, like,
friends or what?
When he's
called
dunking
Vin your
cup in his
best
hand.
friend. That was my shot back when you called Vin your best friend. But I don't hold any grudges. But no, like, it's the purity of it, because people want to see that, you know, because you can go through and one of the best parts about our New England, and I can't speak for the Midwest because I've never been there, but when you go to some of these other major big states, it's all cookie cutter.
Yep.
Every exit has the same 20 franchises.
Yeah.
Up here, it's you get off one exit, the next exit's completely different. The next state's completely different. The food is different. The people are different.
Yeah.
So it's
13
all
original
over.
colonies, man. We started it all.
It's
and then they
amazing.
tried to, spread. But I will say, like, California is really beautiful, just so you know.
I'm
But
sure
the
it is.
people are incredible. They're incredibly different.
I'll check it out online.
Literally, I'm like, let's go do the national parks. He's like,
But as you guys said, like, this entire, like, the Northeast, because England is, and the UK and everything is so, Europe as a whole is just so much closer.
Yes.
Like, flying to Ireland, I just went to Iceland a couple weeks ago. It's like a 4-hour flight. California is like 6.5 hours. I was like, I would rather go to Iceland than California personally, but it's kind of cool that you can do that.
Yeah, I think that's, we talk about, where would we live? Where are we going to live for the rest of our lives?
Yeah.
It's like, we love it here so far, but it's all we know. We might go.
are you seriously doing this right now?
What?
Because that's not what you said.
Oh, we're in on a private conversation.
That's
Let me
my
scoot
line.
closer.
That's
No,
my
I'm
line.
saying, like,
he says, I found everything I need to find. And I say, we don't know anywhere till we try it.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Okay. Let's just make that clear. That was my word.
I don't want to leave here. All I was getting back
killed
at
me.
was we're so close to home.
Yeah.
That is a really big selling factor as well. The fact that I can see my parents in 7 hours.
Right.
Like,
You don't want to go to California and then it's a 14-hour flight and you got to do 2 layovers and all that jazz.
So many people say to me, like, if you went to San Diego, you'd never like go back to Boston. You'd love it that much. And I'm like, okay.
Although Matt Lyons literally just said that exact thing on his story. He's in San Diego right now.
Oh, really?
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Super expensive.
So yeah, I feel like what happens if I do fall in love with that? But I think that will always pull us back. It's just this is the closest we can be to home possibly in this country, basically. So
You started at the Mecca. It's kind of hard to go backwards. Yeah. The only thing California will give you is the sunshine and the good weather all the time.
Yeah.
If you're into that. But then you're going to miss the fall foliage,
and I love that.
which I was going to ask. Do we have a favorite season yet?
I actually love summer.
Oh, awesome.
I do.
It's awesome.
I love the coastal areas anywhere in New England in the summer. I think it's just like, I think this is the best summer in the whole country. I do.
Sounds to me like you're already settled. I don't know what else she needs to explore.
No, I seem settled, but I'm more open-minded because I feel like in England we didn't know we were going to like this. So then, the first place you go, like, how do you know you've 100% got that right? That's just my mentality. Whereas he's more just like, I've seen everything I need to see.
I mean, I'm a big fall guy. So
There you go.
you wake up on a Saturday morning.
That's because of the football.
I've got the Premier League. Then I can watch college football. Then on a Sunday I can watch the NFL.
Booked and busy.
Hopefully
great.
the Red Sox are still playing.
Yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed. We'll see.
Celtics are starting to starting their season. I'm like, this is everything I need.
That's it.
That's like American culture in New England as a whole. You're bought in. We got to work on you a little bit here.
This is so great.
What other states have you found yourself interesting wanting to explore? Like outside of California, we joke, but is there other places what are you like craving to see? Is it more bigger mountains? Is it just kind of just to see what there is?
I think like landscapes, because I think that's the one thing people always say, like, they're like, we know you like the East Coast, we know you like New England, but wait till you come to the West Coast for the beauty, because like there's something that you can't get in New England. Like, you're not going to get that level, like Colorado, the mountains, how big they are, or like Arizona, where it looks like you're on Mars.
Yeah.
And it's got these orange, what are they, rocks?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's something that you've got to do it, or like Wyoming and Montana, and just like that different lifestyle of just like being on horseback.
Yeah.
He's not going to want to do that.
It's so much fun.
I want to do it.
Do it.
Do I selfishly want to see you in a cowboy hat? Perhaps.
Same.
But I'm just,
Can I get one with a bee on?
I love
You're
it.
going to wear it on top.
Yeah.
Honestly, if someone online sees this clip that's from Wyoming, they'll be like, come on over, pal. I'll make them for you.
Make it
We
right.
got a Red Sox fedora.
No, but on that note, it's like anywhere we've gone, anywhere, he's dressed head to toe like he's today.
Yeah.
He's dressed like this.
This is just
And I'm
my.
like, are you going to wear anything other than Boston Is that everything now? Yeah. Charleston, he dressed exactly like that.
He's from here.
He's a Boston guy.
I mean, we've got a big game 7 tonight. I've got to be locked in.
Yes,
Come on.
big game, big game.
True.
So the one thing I will say is that the New England region as a whole, although like Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont are huge, Massachusetts also very big, Rhode Island small, Connecticut is like medium size, but when you go to places like Colorado, when you land in like farmland, but to get to the mountains is like, it's a hike. It's like you can see them, but it takes a long time.
Okay.
Like the Midwest, like the US is so much bigger than people actually realize. So when you get to these places, the landscapes are going to be gorgeous, but the Midwest is really not as developed. So the benefit is like from the city to the main mountains, 2 hours till you see your first mountain, 4 hours to get to like, the peak and maybe 5 to get to the northernmost point. But in these places, you're going to be driving 3-4 hours just to get to the nearest town because it's so big.
Right.
I don't know what the number is, and maybe you can look this up for me, but you can fit like a couple hundred Rhode Islands inside of Texas.
Oh, yeah.
So you can fit our state 100 times over in Texas.
I think you can fit the UK 12 times in.
Yeah,
Isn't
it's
that
like-
this?
It's something like that,
It's something,
yeah.
Something
like that.
crazy like that.
Texas is humongous.
And, which is so funny because what up to that? 221 Rhode Islands to fill up Texas. So that's like, like my father lived in Houston and I was like, oh, let's go up to like San Antonio. He was like, that's 6.5 hours away. I was like, in one state? I
they
can
were
go
close.
through all of New England in that time.
The other thing that bugs me about Texas, right, is like all the main cities are actually all on that kind of east side.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what is out there on the west?
What is
Cows.
it?
Nothing.
Oh, no, literally.
Flat land.
It's farm.
It's all farmland.
all
Horses.
farmland.
Yeah.
You ever seen the show Yellowstone? I mean, obviously that's in Montana, but that's like about like ranching. And so all of like the farmland, all of the food, it all comes from places like that.
Yeah.
But there's
And
people
the
that live
oil.
there, but you just out.
They just have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of acres of farmland and like thousands
nothingness.
of cows.
That's so
and-
sick.
Yeah.
Because there's not like the
you
weather
wanna-
and the resources don't like allow for you to really develop and live out there off the grid unless you do things like solar and all that other jazz. But
Wow.
It's intense.
you got to be where all the water and the food and all the good stuff is.
Texas is top of Ollie's list to travel to.
Yeah.
It is a great. I mean, when you go, like we went to Austin for his bachelor party, awesome city.
Yeah, it was
Super, like
really?
where it is populated is so cool.
Yeah.
Hot.
Okay.
And the barbecue is very good. Have you had some good barbecue yet?
Yeah, we had some
Oh,
great barbecue in
life-changing.
South Carolina. Oh
Yes.
my God.
Lewis's barbecue, shout out.
Oh, wait a minute. I wonder if that's a place that I don't know, but
It's Texas. It's Texas barbecue.
The Carolina barbecue is actually very, very good. I didn't in Texas. I was like, but there was a spot just outside of Charleston that was like some of the best barbecue I've ever had.
That's
So
like
It might
what
be
we,
Lu-
Southern
might have
food
been
hits
Lewis's.
different.
Southern food
It
is
hits different.
on your waistline too, but
Yeah.
like, I don't even care.
No.
Yeah.
I've never been more full
and now
in
you
my
know why we have an obesity epidemic around here because the food is that good.
Not in Boston because it's all seafood.
This is true. Oh my God, I love it. Now, for you, like for what you guys have been experiencing as a whole, is there anything that you've kind of not been a fan of that like Americans do or Boston kind of does where you're like, this is whether that's like inefficient. Like the first thing that comes to mind for me is like transport. I feel like Europe is well known for how efficient their transport is.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you guys have either been in an Uber or like your train was late today. Is that like difficult for you or you find yourself like walking most places now?
We walk everywhere. I find it upsetting that I can't get the train quickly from like Boston to DC.
Right.
Like that's a very long. You can get the train.
Yeah.
But it's going to take you like a whole day.
Yeah.
I just feel like how is that not quicker than that? I feel like you have so much in this country. Like, why can't you make the trains faster? Like, Germany has extremely fast trains. Like, we have extremely fast trains in the UK. I feel like that could be a bit more efficient. Like, the T in general. Actually, I don't think it's that bad. I know that people think it's bad and inefficient. It's really not.
I mean, we coming from London with one of the best subway systems in the world. And I don't think the tea is that bad.
It's not.
No, it's
But
not.
that being said, we don't rely on it every single day.
We don't.
Right.
I get on it every so often.
Right.
So
This may sound like a dumb question, but I'm asking because of the conversation. So I know you guys have a lot of trains, and it can bring you everywhere, and it's probably more regulated. And I feel like in other countries that's very similar, like you mentioned in Germany and over in like the Pacific Asia area too, like Japan and China, they have the same thing. Is it because you guys don't have as many cars? Because like I feel like in certain areas, like New York City, Boston, Philly, you don't need a car. You can live there and you don't need one.
Yeah.
But there's still a lot of other places like I need a car. I can't just walk to work. So does that make sense? Is that a silly question?
I think it's a bit of both, right? So there's definitely that aspect, but like historically, our whole country has been built on the rail service.
Right.
So like shipping goods from the south to the north, like stuff like that, was all done by rail. Whereas America being a much younger country, like you've had the kind of opportunity to look at us and go, hey, actually, we can just build a 16-lane highway.
Yeah.
Your roads are amazing.
And put a truck on it. So, I mean, we've definitely seen it in London over the last, like, probably 15 to 20 years. It's getting busier and busier with the amount of cars because, you know, people have 2 cars in a household now. Maybe that wasn't the case 30 years ago.
Right.
Got it.
But there's sections of London that you're not allowed to drive in anymore. So we have, like, low emission zones, or we have, like, some areas are only for, like, buses and taxis. So there's a lot, like, they're trying to...
So interesting.
Yeah.
Cool.
Boston opens up like a bike path and buses only, and everyone's just like, great, free new lane. They're like, give me the $20 ticket. I don't care if I can get around this traffic. I'm taking it. I was in Boston yesterday and it took me 35 minutes to go 4 miles.
No way.
And I was like, this is my like 12th reason. This is like, I'm done. I can't do this. This is awful.
traffic is-
And then I just see people in like the bike lane. I'm like, is the ticket worth it? As long as I don't hit anybody, I should be okay. You know?
It's worth it.
Yeah.
That's how it is.
Yeah, but I just find it fascinating that just from an efficiency standpoint that, you know, we haven't really been able to keep that kind of infrastructure. And wait until you get on the subway in New York City.
Yeah.
Wait until you will appreciate the Boston tea and you will miss home for
Oh,
the first time
really?
because that is like a zoo. I mean, you just like you clench your bag and you just New Yorkers would be like, oh, this guy's like, no, I'm sorry. I've been there many a times. I've been on the subway. there's
Every
never
man for themselves.
there's never a
Really?
time that I've been on there where I've not only like felt safe, mostly because like the quality of the car, but you know, the people are who they are. Everyone but New Yorkers will just sit there. Like nothing is going on. I'm like, are we not seeing this like fist fight? This guy is like hanging upside down, shooting a movie.
Yeah.
And you're just sitting there like, can I just
is
get off this,
crazy.
please?
My whole algo is filled with that kind of stuff. Like, I can't stop watching it. And then she's like, you want to go to New York? I'm like, fuck no.
Literally, I think he's like scared himself.
But like, that's like this is a good conversation because we talk about how people, you know, hear the stereotypes, you get afraid to travel and go these places. And then you go and you're like, wow, this was great. And in 9 times out of 10, that's often the case. It's just that like New York just has something in the water that just like kind of makes everyone very unique. But like the passionate New Yorkers are really fun, cool people.
Yeah,
Like
you've got to go.
Yeah,
It's the American city, and not no disrespect to Boston, but like that is what we all know about in Europe is New York City.
Right. Yeah.
How could you not go into New York City?
And honestly, like if you don't go to like Times Square and Manhattan, you'll be fine. Like Brooklyn, Queens, all of these places are like gorgeous places with awesome food, very walkable. And everyone does kind of like keep to themselves, similar to probably like London, where it's just like everyone's got somewhere they got to be. They don't really pay attention. That was gonna be my next question actually is New England is known for just not being patient people. We're in a rush to go nowhere. And if you get in that way, like we're going to make it a problem for both of us for no reason. Was that like an adjustment? How is like London? Are you guys very fast paced like that?
Yeah. Like I'd say if you're on the subway and you're getting on the escalator, like if you don't stand to the right and
You're
walk on the
barged.
left, like you are getting told by everyone. Like that's
That's
one.
how it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
That's
yeah.
how it should be.
By the way, this is a guy that's always in a rush to go nowhere.
That's
fast.
how it should be on the roads to here. You're not like if you're going
we go.
65 in the left lane,
Yeah.
you're wrong.
You're
Move over.
You're wrong.
You're wrong. Move over. I don't care if I'm going 90. That's my decision to make. Move.
I think the biggest part when I realised how bad not that it's bad up here, but how like intense it is up here is when we went to the south and we were sitting at a traffic light like behind somebody and it was green. So we were like, there was a car there and then us. And the car in front of us wasn't beeping them. And I was like, why are you not beeping them?
That's New England for
Why
you.
are you not beeping
You were
it?
in Florida?
We were in South Carolina.
Oh, yeah.
A
why are you
second and a
Slows
half,
down.
2 seconds up here.
It's rude to them.
You're hanging
Like
out
they
the
won't do
window.
it. So they'll just wait. And I'm like,
I
what are we
had my
waiting
hand
for?
stuck on that thing. I was like,
And I was like, Ollie, you're going to get... No.
it'd been green for half a second. I was like, get out of the way.
Ollie was going, what the F are they doing? And I'm like, I don't know.
Everyone just here is just like constantly like there is like a very anxious culture about the way that we are here where everything is just like feels like it's rushed and we got to get somewhere, we got to do something, and you know that creates like a chaos that doesn't need to exist, which escalates the problem. And that's often what you see with the traffic where it's like no one wants to wait for these 5 cars, so instead they're gonna cut everybody off. But then it's like, well, that's why there's traffic is because everyone wants to. I hope you're listening.
This isn't me.
This is why traffic gets.
There's a no camping rule in Connecticut and Rhode Island, and they still
You see how
sit in
passionate
that
he is? Like
lane.
he got serious.
Oh,
He doesn't
right.
like
Bad.
slow people.
You cannot. No, Rhode Island and Connecticut are the massholes get the bad reputation because they have to drive in all the crappy lanes and everything's just a giant like ball of string around here or in Mass. But like in Rhode Island and Connecticut, no, don't touch me. I'm fuming right now.
cooking,
I was thinking about this on the way here.
Let him cook.
This is
So bad.
This is why we're
Just
on high blood
move.
pressure meds, buddy. Come on.
I'm not anymore. I am still. They're
I
higher now.
don't think you can go to the south.
No.
Unfortunately for you.
No. Well, see, it's different. So, like, I will say, when we go places, he drives for this exact reason.
Always. I can't.
But
I
I
can't.
try-
When people risk my life, I'm like, no, calm down.
I try and be very like, hey, the sun's out. I'm in a new place. Don't be that guy. So I let him drive.
2 seconds in, he becomes that
You're
guy.
like, right, why are you not doing anything? Why are you not doing
Yeah.
anything?
When we go on like the bachelor parties and stuff, everyone's like, "Oh, we'll get some cars." We're like, no, one van, I drive. That's it. I'm like, none of you guys. My buddy that I just went to Iceland with, he drove, and it was like the speed limit was. I don't know if you've ever been to Iceland, but it's basically it's like one road around the entire ring, and it's one speed limit. Everyone's enjoying the mountains, and he's just like flying. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm on
got
vacation.
places
Can
to
you
be.
let off the gas, please?
We got places to be.
We saw a car flipped over from the wind, and he's just like cruising by. I'm like, that's why they flipped. I don't want to be them, please.
I need my own lane.
You need your own lane.
Yeah, we need to get you a lane.
Amazing. Fellas, let me talk to you for a second, man. Look, it's 2026 and you're not feeling like yourself lately. I get it, but it's time to do something about it. You got low energy, you're having bad workouts, you can't seem to focus. You are not alone. And trying to figure it out in today's medical world, hell, it can feel like a total hamster wheel. That's why we at the So New England podcast are wicked excited to be partnering with Game Day Men's Health. Now, here's a few fun facts. Your initial consult and lab work are completely free. And most of the results are done right in-house in about 15, 20 minutes. It's a medical office built specifically for men with licensed professionals who actually give a damn and explain what's going on so that they can create a real game plan for you. They offer testosterone optimization, peptides, yes, there it is, buzzword from socials. I know you're seeing it everywhere, peptides, ED solutions, because fellas, there ain't no shame in the game, baby, and more. All completely personalized to you, which was me and the fellas' favorite part. Check out one of their locations in Garden City, Cranston, or Wayland Square right in Providence. Quick, easy, professional, and we cannot recommend them enough. Check out the video on our socials of our personal experience if you'd like, so you can kind of see what it looks like firsthand. Because me and the fellas, we all got our blood work done, and we're now all on our own customized plan right from Game Days Men's Health. So what are you waiting for? Take control of your health today, boys. GameDayMen'sHealth.com and book your appointment today. Now, what is like the next place that you guys would like to kind of start exploring in New England? Have you been to all the 6 states?
No.
Okay, so what's next on the docket for you guys?
I'd love to see Vermont. I haven't been to Vermont, and I don't know really what there is to see. I think in fall time it's meant to be pretty, like Woodstock.
Yes.
And I like the fact that there's like farms and they actually give you food from the farm. I like farm to table type thing. And again, that's quite, we have that, but Americans have a name for it, like farm to table. We don't have this farm to table concept. It's really cool. So that, and then I haven't been to Connecticut.
That's okay. You're not missing anything.
Okay. So we won't do that then.
Give me the real verdict on New Haven that I heard the pizza is like,
It's the best.
yeah.
Better than New
it's a-
York.
Yeah.
Oh.
This is why I don't need to go
Because
to
again,
New York.
New York is so busy that it kind of becomes turnstile. New Haven is a slower pace, so they're going to put a little bit more effort and quality into the production of their pizza.
Okay.
And that's like, they call it the New York style slice, but it's really the New Haven style slice. Like they invented the larger pies with, you know, like the bigger slices and stuff. Like New Haven definitely has the best pizza.
But I feel like, I don't know about New Haven, but especially in Boston, like New York City, I've heard they do like $2 slice pizza. Like you can get a slice for $2. Like in Boston, that does not exist.
Yeah. Well, nothing for $2 exists in Boston.
So I feel like that's like a magic of New York. Like you can go and get a $2 slice pizza. And I've been saying that to you the whole time.
I don't know how, you know, like England is as a whole, but when you're paying for something that's like $2, it's going to taste like it's $2.
Yeah.
It's not on a budget because if they can make a profit off of $2, you have to think about like the quality of the dough, the ingredients.
Oh. Yeah.
So that's why it's like the one thing I will say is if you do want to experience something good, you usually have to pay for it here in in New England. Like we are expensive, but you are often going to get the better quality.
The quality, yeah.
And that's usually my only gripe is I've been known to be like, I'm not going to go out if I don't think that the price is going to be worth it. Because it's like, if I'm going to spend $40 for a steak that only costs like $15 for me, it better be cooked well with like seasoning and stuff. But that's the grumpy old man in me.
No, I'm with you. Totally.
Have you really enjoyed like a specific area of Boston more than others? Like, where are you guys? I don't want to like put you on blast and say where are you moving to, but where do you guys like kind of want to say now that you're not going to be staying in the Seaport? What is like the most attractive area for you?
I think it's really hard because obviously like the cute like person in me really wants to live in Beacon Hill. I feel like everyone does, but then I think the reality of that is harder. Like I know someone that has an apartment there, but they don't even have their own washer dryer because they can't fit it in the apartment because there's less space. Like the heating may not be as good. Like we've been used to a new apartment with everything working.
Right.
I feel like that would be a real shock to me. Yeah. So then we were like, maybe South Boston because I like the beach. And I feel like there is a part of South Boston that is for the adults. No disrespect. But I feel like there is like a really nice part of South Boston. I've got friends that live there and I like it. I do. But I am nervous to move because I don't know what if I don't like it.
Yeah.
But I think I want to be in a real neighborhood to get like that Boston experience. I feel like Seaport is very like transient. There's people coming in and out all the time. I feel like if you're in a neighborhood, like people normally stay or they've been there for a really long time.
Yeah.
So what about you? Do you have anyone?
I mean, I really like Charlestown. Yeah.
I haven't spent a ton of time in Charlestown, if I'm being honest. So I don't know. Outside of like Whitey Bulger, I don't know much about it.
No, it just seems to be like you said about like your certain section of Southie that you like it's just a bit more grown up and a bit quieter. I feel like if I had somewhere that had like a yard, I don't have to go and walk the dogs in like -20. That would be pretty nice.
Yeah, it does. How many dogs do you have?
We got two.
Oh, you have two. And what kind of dogs are they?
An English show cocker spaniel, and then we rescued a dog.
Oh,
and
adorable.
He's an X-Street dog, so he kind of looks like Lady and the Tramp. He's like scruffy and people,
And she's all perfect.
She's perfect. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. All right, we're gonna get into our So New England segment now. There was a little buzz, just so you know. You didn't have the headphones, but there was a cool little music jingle.
You missed that.
I'm with you guys.
All right, so you haven't been to all 6 states, but typically what we do is we kind of rank them as far as like what is like your favorite to least favorite. What I will ask is, so far, what has been your experience about like 1 through 6? So there's Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and Connecticut. What has been the most enjoyable like state for you? So like if you weren't going to stay in Boston, let's do it that way. Like where would you want to go?
Maine.
Maine. Okay. Because you were just in New Hampshire in the White Mountains.
Yeah, and we love it, but we love Maine.
Awesome. So we'll do Maine number 1. And then how about the rest? And we can put Connecticut last because you haven't really been there yet.
Yeah.
That's why.
I saw that little side eye.
But to be honest, like Connecticut, no offense, but I forget. They say New England. I don't know if other people maybe not.
Well, they have allegiance.
Been here 34 years, often forget.
Right. I just forget that it's part of it.
Yeah.
In New England, we say that we split it because we base it off of sports.
Okay.
So in the like southeast corridor where he lives in Connecticut, which is kind of like where we grew up because southern Rhode Island is very close. Well, obviously it's a state over, but the areas kind of migrate together. But halfway through the state, it goes from Boston sports to New York sports. Yeah. And that's why we have trouble with allegiance because our entire existence is very overpaid grown men playing sports. So without them, we couldn't live our lives. So it's if you're a Yankees fan, it's just like, fuck Connecticut. But it is a very, very beautiful state, truthfully.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
I've heard Mystic.
Yeah, I was going to say Mystic would be great. That's where he lives.
Oh,
nice.
It's a really nice area. You can spend a good amount of time. Like downtown Mystic is very, very New England-esque.
Hallmark. Literally, that's where they film Hallmark movies exactly. They filmed them there.
Tons of stuff to see. The water's beautiful. Everyone's super nice. Everything like really is like quintessential. Thank you. New York. Nope.
See what I'm saying? See this? See that? Son of a gun. I knew it.
I got really caught up on that word because I knew what I wanted to say.
Listen, man, you learned
it's beautiful.
today.
Yeah, exactly. I'm learning a lot.
We will get there.
Yeah, come through.
So hold on. It was Maine, Massachusetts,
Maine, Mass. Got it.
New Hampshire.
It's got to be home, right?
But Maine first, only because. Why? Maine, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Rhode Island, and it's only because. Don't kill me. It's only because we've only ever been to Newport. This is the first time we've been to Providence.
That's okay.
Newport,
that's okay.
We accept.
We love Newport, but it was raining the day we went, so we didn't really get a good experience of it. And
it's not much better with the sun out. You're good.
Okay. Not mostly
No, I'm
guys
just
there.
teasing.
So yeah, Newport and then Vermont, Connecticut again because we haven't been to Vermont.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Makes perfect sense. No, just like as a lowdown, like here in Rhode Island, like Newport, we talked about this on the episode just before you, but Newport is kind of one of those picturesque like towns is very much Rhode Island, but in the summertime, it's so much tourism that it doesn't feel like it's like your home state. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And there's so much like wealth that exists there that kind of just separates the rest of the state. Because when you go to Newport, I'm sure, I don't know if you like did the cliff walk, but you see these like these mansions that are, from old era, and they shoot, what is the Gilded Age?
Yeah.
They film here. So it's very, very cute. But like Rhode Island as a whole is very much like that cute, oceanside type of town. So we've got quite a few that are like that, outside of just Newport. So
Because it's called the Ocean State, right?
yeah, it's called the Ocean State.
I know all the slogans,
400.
yeah, I know all
We
the
have
slogans.
400 miles of coastline here, which is the most in, I believe, the U.S. Right? Which you wouldn't really know because of how small we are, but it's just
so
because
cool.
it's like, and we have Block Island, which is like a little island you can take a ferry to and go party and hang out. Very cute, awesome.
So
time.
is that your like Nantucket?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah?
Yeah. Because Nantucket's honestly, you can go from Block Island to Nantucket. It's pretty much like right there. And Martha's Vineyard's all the same. It just it goes down in wealth. It's like Martha's Vineyard, then Nantucket, or maybe vice versa, and then it's like Block Island.
Okay.
So it's like depends on what people you want to be with. You can go upper class, or you can come party with Rhode Islanders. You know what I mean? There's one beach bar in the front that everyone constantly gets too drunk at and fights at, and it's like so much fun. It's like being on the subway in New York. Has there been a favorite food yet? Have we made a decision on we'll call it like a U.S. food? What would be? And you can
US
do
food?
individual, U.S. food. Well, I mean, I say like New England because this is where you've kind of had it for the most part. But do we have a
How
favorite
do you
dish?
choose one?
Exactly.
I can't.
Have you had like a lobster roll?
Yeah.
What do we
Always
think?
warm buttered. You can't. No other way.
Cold.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is like how many times
Yeah.
you said cold?
Yeah, I'm
Oh, now we're 50-50. I was gonna go on a rant about how
Sorry.
good this was.
No, yeah, warm
Sorry.
buttered.
Did you have mayonnaise on it too?
Yeah.
How do you put mayonnaise
It's
on?
wrong. It's wrong.
Yeah, it's-
I just had it as it came, and I was like, "This is great."
Have you I love it. You're carefree, man. This is great. Have you had like just like a straight up like lobster where you crack it yourself with the warm butter and all that stuff and not like on a roll?
Yeah, I do like. I just like lobster anyway, but
Yeah.
lobster roll is the best way to have it.
That's fair.
100%.
Yeah, but it has to be on the. Sometimes they put it in a burger bun. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
that
gotta
would
be-
be
it's
mad.
gotta be in the right
Wild.
Yeah, it
Whoever-
has to be in that special. What would you call that?
Like a hot dog bun, really.
Yeah.
That's really what it comes in. It's just a hot dog bun.
Special, so special.
I always say to anyone, I'm like, look, if you would crack open a hot lobster yourself and you would dip it in mayonnaise, then that makes sense. But you
Ooh.
don't. You dip it in butter.
100%. It's
well said.
very
the,
valid.
The cold is what makes the mayonnaise tolerable, but I just like it deserves to be hot. But that's just my opinion that I'm
Agreed.
forcing upon you.
Especially when
You'll
it's
come
like
around.
$50
Yeah,
one. I want it hot.
for a hot dog bun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
If you could, it's a two-parter, tell us what you think is the most overrated thing about New England and then the most underrated thing about New England that you have found in your travels.
Oh my goodness.
God.
Oh, I'm gonna say for overrated. I'm gonna say that I personally prefer coastal Maine to the Cape.
That's okay.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
Cape is a very touristy. Like if you go off season, the Cape is great. The people that live there full time are awesome. But
Yeah.
in like high tourism season, that is literally it's all Key West that comes up to Cape Cod.
Okay.
Literally, I mean, it's like you go down to Pete Town and stuff. It's beautiful, but
It is stunning.
coastal Maine has a lot more to offer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pete Town is just like a beach on each side.
Yeah.
And the traffic to get to
One
the
road
Cape
in?
on the summer, no.
Yeah.
Like it's better to go up to the coastal, in my opinion. But nobody listened to that because we don't want them making traffic. But then, what was the underrated?
I'd say the most underrated thing, probably the people.
Yeah.
People here are so awesome.
Yeah.
And like what we were saying at the beginning, right? The stereotype that everyone in New England's mean and like they're not friendly. Yes, they are. Like they're 100%.
They're ride
are.
or die people.
Yeah. So they are 100% underrated.
They're highly misunderstood. I
Yeah.
feel like in the rest of the country, I feel like they get a bad reputation, but I think they don't care. They literally don't care.
Yeah.
They're like, whatever.
That's why you fit in perfectly. You just don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They literally don't
we're
care.
better than you and we know it.
Count that one in for a clip.
That's it.
I love it. All right. So let's say you guys have family or someone visiting you, a friend from London, never been here before.
Yep.
Where are you guys taking them? Walk me through like a day as someone who is like still getting acquainted with New England, but you're like, oh, if I'm going to show this off, you have to experience these things. This is what I would show my non-American friends, I guess?
My mum, I made sure that I showed the city in which she responded like, this is the cleanest city I've ever been in. She thought it was so clean and spectacular. And then I took her the second time she came to the Cape. And I know I just shouted the Cape. But I think it was important for her to see the Cape.
Of course.
And she loved it. And we went in like it wasn't as high season. And she was like, oh, like, how much do these houses cost? Maybe I'll move here. I was like, yeah, forget it. And then when my best friend came, I took her to Maine and we went skiing.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
It was
Yeah.
fun.
I mean, we've taken my parents up to
Maine.
like coastal Maine as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like if someone's coming for like a few days, we do like a few days in the city and then a few days either the Cape or coastal Maine. That's like that's our general blueprint, isn't it?
Yeah, I feel like there's more than just to see just Boston, because I feel like it's not just a city. I don't like saying that, but it is a city, like a city, you know. And it's cool to show them like real quintessential New England, something that they would not be able to fly over from the UK directly to see. And Maine is one of those places. So
I had some guys come over from work as well. I took them to Fenway. They were like, "This is the best thing."
Isn't it the
was.
coolest?
I mean, it is.
It is.
Fenway
There's
is
no
the
experience
coolest.
like Fenway Park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really is such an experience.
Yeah.
That's great.
Next question.
If you could sum up New England in one sentence to describe it to people who have never been here, how would you say it?
One sentence.
It's a tough one.
It can be
Thank God
a
it's
long
sentence.
run-on sentence or 2 or 3 sentences.
You're normally.
Absolutely.
you're relying on
I'm
me.
leaning on her.
Oh,
Right now. You're the one that like does the videos and does the one-liners. And
Okay, I'm just gonna say what came to mind. I think New England's better than Old England.
Oh, that's a one-liner. Say it in the camera.
I was gonna say. I was gonna say. You have now gone viral. Thank you so much. This is going to be exactly what we needed.
And that's all we needed today, folks. No, but I will provide context on that because I feel like that sounds really harsh.
Yeah.
But I think it is because England is so, it doesn't have the diversity that you have. And I'm talking about like the different places, the different landscapes, the different foods, the different. So you know what I'm trying to say? Build on that because you know what I mean.
No, I think it's exactly what we kind of touched on earlier, right? Like we live in the city, we can be on the beach in 20 minutes, we can be in the mountains in, under an hour. Like you don't have that in any one location in England.
In England, you can't ski.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you can't, there's no skiing option. There's no winter sport option for your children. If you're raising children, there's nothing for them.
Yeah.
The beaches are there, but no one really wants to drive. Like, by the way, I don't know if you know, but road trips in the US are so normalized. But in the UK, like we don't want to drive 5 hours to Devon to go to the beach. Like that's like another country for us. Like we don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So I think again, like the beaches that are around where we were from are your beaches are so nice compared to that. And even then, like you'll shit on your own beaches, but like I think M Street Beach is great.
Yeah.
Like, you'll be like, that's horrendous. And I'm like, no, that's so much better than we had like Pebble Beaches, like had loads of litter on it.
Yeah.
So yeah. Like if I take York, Maine for like York Beach, for example, like the fact that they don't have any trash cans and they are respectful enough to pick up their own trash and take it home with it. There's
You put that place in England, anywhere, pick anywhere in the country, it would be a mess.
it would be
Really?
absolutely
Oh my
trash.
God.
Yeah.
Well, again, that's like the New England way is that like New Englanders are not afraid to hold you accountable.
Yeah.
So like if
Yeah.
you're on the beach and you leave your shithead, someone would stand and go, "Hey, shithead, pick up your stuff.
Yeah.
Don't ruin my beach."
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
They're like-
Why not?
Yeah,
Totally
it's like
right.
because everyone wants to keep it clean. So if there is tourism going on in those places, like they'll hold you accountable.
They're getting told.
yeah, you're getting told. We're not going to let you just like you're not going to skip by with leaving shit on my beach.
That's how you keep
I
it
love
nice.
England, but I feel like New England just offers a bit more in terms of lifestyle if you're going to raise a family or something like that.
Now, if you could add maybe a part of anywhere that you've traveled to, could be home, like maybe London. If you could add something to New England as a state, as a country, city, region, like what would you add that you were like, this would be a good fit? Doesn't have to jive well, but it's like, I'd love to have this part of, maybe where I grew up included in the New England lifestyle.
Do you want me to answer for you? Because I have one for
Go
you.
on.
I think that you would say pub culture.
Yeah. Pub culture.
Because it's different. Like your sports bar culture is so fun and he loves it.
Yeah.
But pub culture is totally different. You can explain it.
Yeah, like going to the pub it's like the place where you like unload all your issues after the day. You go there and you have a beer and you sit down with the boys and you put your bets on, you watch the football, you just talk and you just might sit there for 1 hour, 2 hours, 5 hours. Like it's that kind of place. It's like a home from home, like going to the pub in the UK. And they're like the cornerstone of every like neighborhood or every little town. like everybody knows everybody in there. Like that's what.
But it's not clean. It's like sticky floors, grimy toilets. Like
Or not all of them.
most of them are.
No, I think you're referencing most in the city.
Yeah, like
Just the one that Ollie hangs out at.
Yeah, like,
Just the one that he likes.
your bars are like polished, and I think like you can't sit at a table for hours and hours and hours. Like people will just bring you a check, and like the next people need to come in. Whereas the pub is very much like you can sit there for the whole day if you wanted to, and the pub garden as well. Like in the summer, that's a whole thing in itself. So I think that's what you would probably want to bring.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
For me, like there isn't much except for I think our snacks. I think our snack game is probably better than the US.
I do love a good snack.
We do love good snacks around here.
Yeah.
You guys hear that? See, this is the thing, right? I'm the one in the group that like wants to kind of get everyone chit chatting. So we go to like a restaurant or a bar. I'm like, hey, what's up? Nothing. How's the dating scene? I don't feel like telling you. See, look, he gets mad.
Him.
I have to pry it out of my friends. I just want the pub culture with my boys, and you guys don't want to give it to me.
Call him up.
We have therapy around here. That's the only time the
So
boys
it's a
will speak
one-sided
up.
conversation the whole time.
No.
Well, as you can
He's
see, I
an
do like to talk,
absolute
and I ramble quite a bit.
He's
So
an absolute load. Last time we all got together, he was 45 minutes late because he chose to ride his motorcycle.
and my battery died. Okay, I mean, I can pull up a group. I can pull up the text right now where I said, "What's up with the lady scene? What do you want to know? What's up with the lady scene?
What do you
We
want?
gotta go to the pub.
What's up with the ladies?
Let's go.
See
We're
what I
going
gotta
to the
deal
pub
with?
Let's
after
unpack
this.
it. Let's unpack it here right now.
Simple answer. Nothing. Sorry. My bad, dude.
I will say that's like the only thing that is like,
Yeah, married
New
man
England, you
trying to
gotta,
live vicariously through me. My bad. There's nothing going on. I ain't got time. I got to deal with you. You're the only wife I need.
I've heard the dating scene is like really hard because I've got single friends too.
Nope.
So, like it's tough.
It's
out
awful.
here. Is it?
Yep.
it can't be that bad.
Oh yeah, coming from married, been out of the game for 8 years.
But I'm just saying, it can't be that bad.
It's that bad.
Yep. Count your blessings, all you taking people out here. Wrap it up. Pissing me off. Someone's getting cut off.
Don't get him started about the roads again. We're gonna go again.
See, that's why
yeah,
high
yeah,
five
we
blood
can't
pressure.
get him going
Here we
again
go.
on that. No, but that's really cool. I like the thought of something like that because it really does, and it can happen. And I feel like that's the one thing about New England is all of my friends are like these are my childhood best friends. Like I've met a lot of really cool people along the way, but it's just like I don't know if that's how it was for you guys growing up, but it's just like that camaraderie of like your boys growing up and your girlfriends. It's like
Yeah,
you just like you love that.
My group of boys back home, we've been friends since the start of like secondary school, so like from the age of 11. So we've all been friends for like 20 plus years now.
Yep.
Still got the group chat going.
Yep.
Premier League on a Saturday, we're all like giving each other shit.
Yep.
Like someone's got good news, we're all happy for each other. Someone's having a baby, getting married. Like it's
You think you have like a big relationship, but you communicate through memes.
yeah, it's great.
Like,
All right,
that's
so it's
it.
the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally,
That's the
this
same.
guy's like we call him the meme god. This guy, because every time we say something, he'll just send a meme. We're like, "Can you use plain English, please? Is that a yes or a no?"
It's brilliant.
I
You're
love
just
it.
gonna let him do all this hypocrisy over here?
I don't got a mic. I can't.
Yeah, that's why I took the mic away. What do you mean?
Jesus, see, I'm in an island on my own. This guy's the double tap heart, double tap exclamation. He don't use words
I'm
either.
busy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes I can't.
24/7 content creation. This guy.
I tried using like the text dictation thing where you can like talk to your phone, and the only thing that it said was like, "Hey, I want to just backspace. Fuck, shit, send, and then it's just like, then I'm just like, I'm bullying people by accident through my text. So I was like, this isn't for me. I can't have that train of thought. All right, guys. Well, it's been incredible to have you on. Thank you so much for joining us on the So New England podcast. I feel like we could probably do like 3 episodes because it's been wonderful getting to know you. Before I go, however, I'm going to need you to say Pahk ka in the Harvard Yard in your best Boston accent. And this goes for both. So
Oh no, I'm absolutely awful. It would be offensive.
you can't really offend a language that
Yeah.
really shouldn't exist in the first place. I promise.
Right. Park your car in the Harvard Yard.
Oh,
there
that's
it is.
amazing.
This guy.
You can do this. I believe you. It's either that or you have to say aluminum foil for me. One or the other.
Aluminum foil.
Oh, okay. say it the way that you want to
Come on,
say
say
it.
it the way we say it.
How do we say it? Oh, I forgot how we say it. Aluminium.
Okay.
Aluminium foil. Squirrel. We can go all day.
I love it. I love it. This has been amazing. Where can everybody find you guys online to follow along with all the amazing stuff you got going on?
At Juliette Amy _ on Instagram, and then leave the underscore for the TikTok, and then Brits in Boston on YouTube.
Yeah, we're trying to get a little bit more long form content out. So
We get asked all the time, and it's hard work to do.
we did like a Q&A the other day. It was like the most we've ever done. So
It's awesome.
we're trying.
You guys are crushing it, though. Seriously, we really appreciate your guys' time today. It was great to get to know you.
Thank you.
Hopefully, all the listeners as well. If there's any questions we missed, please leave them in the comment section so that they can kind of get to them for us.
Thank you so much.
All right, guys, that's going to conclude episode 85 of the So New England podcast with the Brits in Boston. Please try and remember, folks, life's better in New England.
Red Sox